I guess what we could say, just in sort of wrapping things up a bit, is that there is an ancient past that we have, and that it's possible for people to do a greater review of the literature to become more knowledgeable as to how this past has affected us in the way we are today. Certainly, the aquatic, semi-aquatic existence that we've had does explain our subcutaneous layer of fat under our skin and the larger nose that we have beyond what the other primates have, except for the proboscis monkey, and our ability to have a diving reflex, which bradycardia causes oxygen to be shunted more to the major muscles of the body, and reducing of all the oxygen that goes to the periphery of ourself and things. And there's lots of evidence, that we've had a past which is not really talked about much, but that when we err from the track of where we've been, all sorts of conditions and diseases arise, including neoplasm or cancer, as people call neoplasm cancer. But being on a low glycotic index food, which live food is, can assist to help heal cancer by stopping all the food and things, or the feeding of it and that. And all the fresh fruits and vegetables that we did have all break down into a monosaccharide, which is a sugar which is managed by our liver, whereas, of course, the more modern fruit that people are eating, certainly the banana and the pineapple and dates and even raisins and things, they have such a very high glycotic rate, and our body's just not evolved over time to be able to manage that type of sugar, and those sugars end up causing, the body not to really function like it's supposed to. But certainly we could say that things have not been as they are now, and that we could look back to see that it's possible there was an incredible, beautiful civilization. People could look more into our ancient past and avail themselves more of a review of all the literature that does exist to come up more with a deeper insight into things. We could learn, of course, that our planet, which today is third around the sun, was not always in that orbit, and it's only in the last 2,000 years that it's arrived in the orbit that it is today. But the metallic vase that we talked about, that was blown out of Precambrian rock at Dorchester in Massachusetts, the blast that blew it out was just a very immense blast, and a huge amount of rock, some weighing several tons, but the scattered fragments in all directions, and among all those fragments that was blown out, a metallic vase was picked up that had been put into two parts, as a result of the rent asunder by the explosion. But when you put the two parts together, it formed a beautiful bell-shaped sort of a vessel, which was about 6.5 inches at its base, and 2.5 inches at the top, and about 4.5 inches sort of high. And it was about 1/8 of an inch thick, but that the body of the vessel sort of was resembled sort of a zinc type of a colour, and it was a composition metal that people made in antiquity, and there was a considerable portion of silver in the vessel. And on the side of the vessel were beautiful figures. There were 6 figures on the side of the vessel, a flower or a bouquet. It was beautifully inlaid with pure silver, and around the lower part of the vessel a vine sort of wreath was also inlaid in silver. What does this tell us about where we came from? I think that it's a brick that just doesn't fit quite in the world that we've been taught, and certainly Columbus, there was no such person as Columbus. That's a name that was made up afterward. And we certainly have evidence to show that America was certainly visited long before Christopher Columbus set sail, and certainly the Chinese had a huge armada of ships in the 15th century, the 1400s, that came and went all over the world, and there's evidence that of a river, way up deep in California, that has a lot of agriculture and things, which really is more Chinese, and so it's amazing, isn't it? I think that we just have a past, an ancient past, which we really haven't been exposed to, but that upon our exposure more to topics like this, our mind can become more broadened, and we could start to be considered that what we're taught and what's in the books and things can be not correct, So anyway, love to all of you who are listening to this program, and stay tuned for some more really great and fabulous information coming up. Love you guys.